Let's go, guys. Bitcoin is absolutely tanking to the downside. Just as we talked about on my previous videos, I said as soon as we break this trend line, we're going to get a sell from the SMC bot, the smart money crypto bot, and that's going to indicate the start of a bear market. And historically, as soon as we break this, it's red candle after red candle after red candle, and we're starting to see the whales are rushing to take profits. The OGs are rushing to take profits. BlackRock is selling. Everybody's selling. And this is technically what you should do, or what the smart money will do, is they ride the trend is your friend until the end. You've probably heard the saying, right? And when you break the trend line, a lot of people call it a day and they're like, hey, I've made a lot of money on Bitcoin. You know, I got it at 5K, 10K. You know, it's now 100K. I'm going to take some profits off the table. And there's kind of this massive rush to take profits, which is happening right now. Then you get retail who tend to hold and hope, and they kind of sell a lot later. They'll sell after a 40-50% correction, but the smart money and institutions get out straight away. Because if it's 90K, they kind of say, look, if I sell now, I'll take some profits and just buy back at 45K, I've kind of doubled my holdings, right? So we're starting to tank. The death cross seems to be playing out. We talked about the death cross happening last cycle, and I mentioned that the price dropped 25% shortly after we had that death cross. And it's all looking very similar to last cycle. We see how we had the sell signal last cycle from the SMC bot, and then we went into this massive downtrend for 12 months, or it was 10 months from the top. So 12 months in total, but 10 months from the point that we got the sell signal. And we just went into this massive downtrend, and we didn't really need to worry about buying our portfolio again until we had the buy signal, right? That's one of the biggest scams in this space is the amount of people who will say, buy the dip, take long. You probably saw Brian Armstrong saying we're in longs. I think he said we're in longs here, right? Sorry, if we're looking at last cycle. I think he said Coinbase is long here. It's absolutely ruthless, this space, I tell you. And how many people have been liquidated? Billions and billions of people, dollars has been liquidated out of the space. And we are now in free fall. And everyone who's shorting is printing. So you guys should be absolutely printing with me if you've been following the channel. Congratulations. Whether you're in the group or not, you know, I don't want anyone to lose money. And you guys should be absolutely making a killing. I think I'm up $200,000 now. It's absolutely crazy because that kind of money is more than my entire portfolio at the start of this cycle. That's how crazy it is. It's just blown up so fast. I mean, we made the 10x on the Trump long as well. Remember when we was long in Bitcoin here? I was like TP 100K. I made 250K on this trade. It's been really nice. Bitcoin. Altcoins have been very hard, but it's been really nice to trade Bitcoin this cycle. What trades am I in at the moment? So I'm still in my World Liberty Finance. I did add a little bit to my World Liberty Finance because they've frozen a lot of tokens. They've frozen Justin Sun's wallet, and it has around, I think, $76 million in there. They're going to have to unfreeze that. You can't just go around freezing people's assets, right? It's supposed to be crypto. Just because you have a hunch or you suspect something, you can't go around freezing people's assets. It doesn't matter whether we like Justin Sun or not. It doesn't matter if it's the most hated person. You can't just go around freezing assets. Cointelegraph posted here saying, World Liberty Finance users say the project froze their wallets, enforced KYC, and even moved assets without vote. If this is true, this is wild, and World Liberty Finance could potentially come down 90 to 95%. And also, if it's true, it's disgusting. We know that it's happened to Justin Sun. We know that it's potentially happening to other accounts, but this is the kind of behavior that the banks have been carried out, and World Liberty Finance pitched themselves as this decentralized, kind of the new bank. We're going to do things different. We were also, marked by the banks. We were blacklisted, and we're going to do it different. And then they've just come in and actually, you could argue being worse than a bank, right? Because at least a bank would give you your money and not just freeze all your assets without any investigation. So yeah, I don't know what's going to happen. What would you do if you had $100 million that was frozen? You're probably going to sell as soon as that's unfrozen, right? You're probably going to get your money out there, out of that asset as soon as possible. what are the insiders at World Liberty Finance going to do when they find out when they have to release those assets, the frozen assets? Like if the SEC come down on them, not that they probably would do that because they got a lot of people in the SEC, but if the SEC did crack down or something happens, they're probably going to sell, right? If you're in the World Liberty Finance team and you know that you're about to unfreeze $250 million, you're probably going to take your profits off the table, right? So I think this is going to be a real big mess. I do think it feels to me like a market maker is holding this chart up because it's had so much bad news, so much FUD. The market cap is huge. The VCs were huge as well, right? And it hasn't really moved. Look how unorganically it's been moving here. It's almost like someone has been buying this up every time it tries to tank. It looks like a market maker has been trying to hold this over a certain price. And what happens in these cases a lot of the time is when that market maker decides to stop, maybe they hit their budget, maybe they run out of money, a lot of the time you'll see something like this, right? I feel like it happened here as well. You see where the price was going sideways here, and then all of a sudden it was almost like the tap was turned off, right? And we had this massive capitulation to the downside. I think we're going to see something like that. How similar does that look, actually? It looks quite similar how it just trended sideways there. And I feel like we're going to see similar. And if you think about how much Bitcoin's crashed right now, so this was when Bitcoin was much higher. So we technically should come well below this level. And I think eventually we're going to come down and revisit this wick around 7 cents. I think we're going to come much lower than that wick, but I just think short term we're going to come down to that 7 cents wick, which is like a 50% downturn from here. Can it go to the upside? Absolutely. If it does, I'll probably put on another short position. But yeah, World Liberty Finance hasn't tanked yet, but I do think this is potentially going to tank soon. Render, 86%. It's come down a little bit. Don't want to play too many games with Render because, we've seen some very shady moves on Render. But I've just got a small amount on there. ETH, 181%. That's doing very, very well. So that is in $24,000 profit now. Absolutely crazy. XRP, I did add to my XRP position today. So I added around $2.12. If you want to see those calls, I post them in my Discord. So you can come and join this Discord if you want. The link to join is on my X. So head over to Twitter, search this, and then you can jump in. You can see the trades that I'm taking and everything I'm doing. I'm also going to be looking for some longs soon. I don't think we're quite there yet. I think we've still got a lot of downside if history is repeating and we're copying last cycle, which it does look like we are. Then I should have a rough area of where we're going to bounce. You've probably seen how many people have you seen bottoms in? I've seen bottoms in at 100k, 95k, 94k, 92k, 90k, 86k. How many people have you seen say the bottoms in yet and we're just free falling? This is normal, guys. This is normal. This is not really anything to panic about. If you've sold, obviously, and you've taken profits off the table, I wouldn't really be panicking here. I'm just chilling in my shorts. I think we're just repeating last cycle. And this is very normal when you go into a bear market. Everyone sort of rushes to take profits because people are in the huge profits, right? People in a lot of profits. I know a lot of altcoin traders haven't really done this well, and it's been very hard to trade altcoins. Bitcoin's been easy, but it has been very hard to trade altcoins. And we wouldn't have sold a lot of our altcoins if we weren't analyzing the on-chain data, right? We were looking at the CEOs and the founders' wallets of assets and getting out of them as soon as they started to sell, right? As soon as I saw Spec, for example, I saw some insiders sending money from Spec to Bybit, and shortly after it just completely melted, right? As everyone started to see. So on-chain data has really, really helped us this cycle. Did any of you take the XRP trade? Because that's absolutely printing, and it's coming down to my target. I've got another XRP short on another exchange as well. It's quite big. I'm looking over now. That's 68% in profit. Did any of you take the XRP short? Because a lot of these trades we've been talking about on the channel. Do you remember when I said when we come back to the SMC moving average, that's where I'd look to re-enter, and we took that trade here. So you see we had the sell signal from the SMC bot, we tanked, we came back to that SMC resistance, we took this short, we took profits on this, and then we entered another short on XRP here, and now it's almost hitting our target, which is crazy. Here, watch this. This is a classic sign that we got rejected and we're actually going to come down and start to make some new lows. Now, the problem is, look how many times we've tested this 177 level. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5, 6. Okay, 6 times we've tested this. Now, I've talked about this before. What happens, the more times you bang on it, you bang on it, you bang on it, it's like a door, right? The more times you bang on it, the weaker the level becomes. And then when you eventually break through, it can get messy. You can really come down hard when you start to lose these key levels. And I don't know how many more times we can come down to this level and test it. We also have the 200-day moving average here that we've tested. And if we break below the 200-day moving average, a lot of traditional traders treat this as the bull run trend line. And if we break below the 200-day moving average and we get rejected from that on a retest, it would be like I would be leaning into the bull run is over. Okay, so if we lose that 200, big ups, guys. If you've been following the channel, absolutely nailed it. Look at some of these prices. Solana was 192 here. We had a sell signal from the SMC bot at around $220. I think the price today is, what even is the price of Solana today? Let me quickly check. Crypto Solana 132 it is now. That's crazy. Look at some of these prices. Bitcoin 112,000. ETH was still like almost $4,000, and the price of ETH today is 2.8. That's crazy. So big ups. If you guys took these shorts, you must have absolutely printed. And don't forget, if you don't want to miss out on any of these videos, like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of these updates. We'll take the trade first when we take profits on our short positions. And when we start to take longs, we'll take the trade first in the Discord, but then I will post it on the YouTube channel shortly after, just so we don't get front run and so people don't try to liquidate our positions, etc. Looking good. I still think we're going to see some more downside here. The stock market seems to just be getting started in its correction, but Bitcoin does front run the stock market quite a lot, so that's something to take into consideration. We come down here, the stock market might actually keep coming down, but Bitcoin might actually find a level and bounce and kind of front run the stock market's relief rally as well. 86.8. Let's go, guys. What's my account on now? So $150,000 equity and plus 65,000. It was only the other day that this was like at 100k or 120k. So it's getting absolutely insane. I might make $500,000 if we hit my target, which is even mental to think about. I'm not trying to get too excited or carried away. You have to stay neutral, even if you're making a lot of money or losing a lot of money. You have to remain neutral, otherwise you're going to make mistakes. But when I close it, I'll probably go for a beer, definitely, and let it settle. And then we're looking for longs, right? So if we get that next long trade, GG's, bro. I need to nail that next long trade and the short trade after that as well. I think I've got the numbers sort of set up for where we want to get in. It's very hard to do, right? I could hit stop losses on both of those next trades. Nothing's guaranteed, but now at least I've got the capital here. I've got a lot of capital here that I can afford to hit stop losses because we've absolutely nailed some of these shorts, and I still think they're going to come down a lot. ETH, ETH 23, 24k, XRP, $16,000 in profit, and then 8,000 is banked. So doing very well on there, sort of $24,000 on that XRP short. Bitcoin, 16,000 profit, 20 banked, so $36,000 on that. Sui, $17,000, $18,000. Obviously, I've got another Sui short on another exchange. So yeah, guys, we've been absolutely printing, and I hope we can continue to print, and I hope we can smash these next couple of trades. Yeah, we don't really need to worry as we go into a bull run. What my next target is, I'm not really worried about this bear market. My next goal is to buy the bottom of the bear market. This is where the real money's made, and this is where we kind of smashed it this cycle. And also we smashed it with taking profits early, but you have to get this right. You don't have to get this right, but if you get this right, you could literally... I quit my job, right? I ended up quitting my full-time job. It's very, very important, and that's why I have so many different indicators that really help us try and nail the bottom. But the SMC bot is hopefully going to be later than where I get in. So you see where the buy signal flashed. So we had a sell indicating the start of a bear market, usually lasts 12 months from the all-time high. This just happened to be perfect as well for the 12-month correction. This is where I want to smash it, okay? And I want to get in before the buy signal. But if I'm in late, so let's say I'm still bearish and we start to recover and I get the buy signal, I don't care what the rest of the indicators say, I'm back in, right? So you see this whole period here, it should stay. There should be no buy signal all the way down, right? There should be no buy signal, and that first buy signal should indicate that you are starting the start of the next bull run on the SMC bot, right? Not just Bitcoin. It does this on a lot of different assets, and I'll go and show you afterwards. But so okay, well then we have the buy and the sell. So I really need to nail this. Where do I want to get in? I mean, look, in ideal world, I'd want to be buying down here, right? I'd want to be buying down here. The other indicator we have on the SMC bot is the bright green bottoming indicator. So you see how it flashed bright green? It flashed bright green around 20k. But then we had the final black swan shakeout. So you normally have a black swan shakeout as you go into the bottom of the bear market. You see this wick here. This is where you want to be buying. Now, most people have had already bought here, okay? Because this is like classic bottom of the market area. And then you had the shakeout basically liquidating these longs, because a lot of people were taking longs around 20k, and then they come down, black swan event, liquidate all the longs. This is beautiful. The problem is you don't know if you're going to get a black swan event, and pigs get slaughtered. So, you know, when you're down here, you're asking yourself, look, I know we're close to the bottom. It's 20k. You know, it was 68k. I can see the green indicators popping off. I might take a long here. I might buy. And then you get a black swan, but you don't know if you're going to get the black swan. That's the tricky part about the bear market. So I'm going to be using a lot of the other indicators. Look, the SMC bot is great as well as a backup, but a lot of the paid indicators, and also Nansen, right? We have the VIP Nansen, which I think is about $1,000 a month. We have that data as well to back us up for trying to nail the bottom. This is the most important thing. It's also a beautiful time because look how much less stress it was. We literally just bought Casper, we bought Render, and we just sat and waited, right? And they just went like this. They went up 25x. GG, bro. Like, congratulations. It's so much harder, all this trading every day and trying to find the setups. And we're at the SMC resistance. Quickly, let's set a stop loss. The bear market is so beautiful. I miss it, man, because you just build a portfolio and you sit and wait. And if you've done your fundamental analysis, I'll do some videos on the channel on fundamental analysis because that's something I think we are really good at. And fundamental analysis, on-chain analysis, technical analysis, in every single altcoin I buy, I'm going to have literally deep research into the holders. Have the founders been selling on the way down? Are the founders holding? What are the smart money doing? Who's long in it? Are the institutions long in it, short in it, etc.? We're going to do really, really advanced reports on every altcoin that we buy because I don't want to mess it up. I don't want to put 20, 50k into an altcoin that it just doesn't perform, right? And I think we've done really well this cycle. We didn't buy Ethereum. We chose to go into Solana. We chose to go into Casper. We chose to go into Render for the AI play. We avoided Metaverse, anything to do with NFTs. We avoided that can really make or break you. If you look at everyone who went into Polkadot this cycle, pretty much made no gains. Anyone who went into Chainlink this cycle pretty much made no gains. Anyone who went into Matic this cycle pretty much made no gains. There was a lot of altcoins that were just like boomer coins that were likely not going to do anything. And new shiny coin syndrome is still, in my opinion, the way to go. New shiny coin syndrome. You probably already know what I'm going to talk about if I keep talking. So yeah, I think two things we need to nail: the bottom of the market and fundamental analysis, and on-chain analysis for the altcoins that we're going to buy, and just try and repeat again. Look, I don't need 100x. If I can get 100x, happy days. We hit over 100x on some things this cycle. My main goal is just to get a 10x, and if I nail the bottom of the bear market, that makes it a lot more likely. But a lot of these things do 20, 30x, okay? Pigs get slaughtered, so again, I won't try and time the market. I'll just dollar cost average out. I'll do exactly the same as we have done this cycle. But yeah, I'm really excited. And I think it's going to be interesting, this bear market. It's going to be interesting. There's lots of different ways it can go. We really need a black swan event if we're going to want some deep discounts. 86.9 now on BTC. I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think we've pretty much wrapped up. I'm not really doing too much at the moment. I think we're still miles away from my targets. So be careful if you're taking long positions, because I keep seeing people say like the bottom's in, and it's creating hype for people to take longs and buy, and we just keep seeing more and more people keep getting liquidated. So yeah, be careful if you're trading right now. It's highly risky, guys. It's very, very risky. But as you can see, like just 2 trades here, 2 simple trades, short the top or near the top, long after Trump won. There's like $500,000 there just in 2 trades. And I don't think I was using a crazy amount of money. I think on this one I say not crazy amount of money, but I think I put $20,000-$30,000 on this trade. It turned into 250K. I don't know how much I put on recently. I definitely took profits sooner on these trades than I did this trade. This was a lot easier when Trump won. It was just like obvious it was going to go to 100K because he was going to shield the life out of it, and he was going to give Larry Fink whatever they wanted. There was going to be a pro crypto SEC, so it was a lot easier. I don't think I took any profits from this trade until 90K or something. So yeah, there's going to be more of these, right? These don't just randomly come every 10 years. There's going to be loads more of these 250K trades, $500,000 trades, and hopefully $1 million trades. It's about being there right time and just understanding the market, right? Understanding the 200-day moving average. I literally said if we break this, a lot of people are going to start to sell and dump, and we're going to go into a bear market. So yeah, looking good. How are you guys doing? Are you still shorting? What's your targets for BTC, for a BTC floor? Where do you think we're going to bottom? Do you think we're in a bull run? Some people still think we're in a bull run, despite breaking the bull run trend line. Hope is always a thing that stays around regardless. There's a lot of people who will hope. There's a lot of people who will be in disbelief. Everyone got programmed into thinking 100K BTC was cheap, but a lot of them might not have been around when Bitcoin was 15,000, right? And those who were around at 15,000, people have a short memory as well, right? People have short memory. They kind of forget that when we were down here, coming to 100K was a dream for us, right? It was literally a dream. I remember my manager saying, if it hits 100K, I'm done. I think she said she's going to sell. She had so much Bitcoin. She took a loan out, massive loan out on the house to buy Bitcoin. And 100K was a dream, Congratulations to her. She took the risk. She took a loan. She took a risk, and it paid off. No risk, no story. That's why we're here. But notice how quickly people have been conditioned into thinking 100K per Bitcoin is cheap, and it was 15K just a couple of years ago. It's the same stuff every cycle, guys. We capitulate, we crash. It's one of the most volatile assets in the space. This is literally just the warm up, it's highly likely we're going to tank. Again, not financial advice. Do your own research. Investing in crypto is highly risky. Investing in anything is highly risky. You can lose all your money investing in anything. So always do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor. Don't forget to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel to stay up to date with the latest. The Discord is still open. We're going to lock it off at 1,000 members, and it's going to be completely closed off, and we're just going to stick to the 1,000 members we've got. People will only be allowed in once we hit. When people leave, right? So you'll have to literally be 1 in, 1 out. If you want to join us, head over to my Twitter. I think I've already said that, and click this link here. What else was I going to say? Like and subscribe to stay up to date with the latest. Yeah, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.